I have quite possibly found the best cheat stick, well, for myself. But let's be honest, cheat stick gets thrown around a lot when it comes to the game of golf. That was absolutely flush. It's 50 miles an hour slower, yet I'm getting pretty much the exact same distance. Get down there, son. Get down there. So why is this underrated and pretty affordable cheat stick so good for myself? What is it covering up? Not only that, how can you identify a good cheat stick for yourself and ultimately start improving your golf scores? Oh, go on, get on the green. Get up there, 253 yards. But there's one thing in common that all cheat sticks have when it comes to golf, and it's masking up a fault in your golf swing. Rather than fixing your technique, you add a high lofted fairway wood, a low lofted driving iron, a chipper that you found from Sports Direct, an arm lock putter, and the list goes on and on. Can't believe I've just chunked that 250 yards. How embarrassing. But it did go on the green. I have been waiting an incredibly long time to test this bad boy out because I'm a big fan of driving irons, and I'll explain exactly what my fault is when it comes to the golf swing and why these are so good for my golf game. Because ultimately the driver's never been known as a cheat stick. Why? Because it's the hardest club in the bag to hit well. Your launch angle has to be good, your club face has to be at the target, your swing path has to be pretty neutral, angle of attack, you name it. Therefore, there's no such thing as a cheat stick, especially if you're getting a decent amount of distance from your driver as well as being consistent with it. However, it can take years, a lot of time, a lot of coaching to get good with the driver. So why don't you just find something that's the interim point, gets you down the fairway, gets the ball up in the air and gives you some kind of, well, consistency. And that's why the 7 fairway wood is a great cheat stick for a lot of you guys that come over the top, relatively steep into the golf ball, i.e. this, because it's naturally got a lot of loft, not to mention a lot of the weights at the back here, meaning that it's gonna help that launch, especially if you're not that particularly fast as a golfer. Because as you can see there, I launched it at 17 degrees, even with a 22-degree lofted club. Therefore, if I added a 3 wood into the bag, technically should go longer, but because that type of swing, steep down into the golf ball, is going to launch the ball even lower, you're probably not going to get as much carry or, well, consistency. As you can see, more ball speed, but too low of a launch angle, potentially a bit exaggerated, I must say, but less distance. And now I know technique is king. Ultimately, this will go further with a bit of time, effort, and practice, but if you can find a cheap, affordable 7 fairway wood to knock it down the middle consistently in the interim period, well, you're just going to enjoy your golf more. Again, the same goes for chippers. I've tested loads of them on my channel, referred them to as a cheat stick, and it's for those players that get a bit tentative, very flippy with their wrists, and ultimately get over the golf ball and, well, top it. But again, as I said with the chipper, it's a great tool. It's even a good training aid to get your confidence up and get used to having that idea of just using your shoulders to hit a shot with a slight downward attack angle into the golf ball. It's very much a piece of equipment that can plaster over a bad and poor technique, but that's not to say that it might not help improve your overall technique, well, with the rest of your wedges in the bag. Now, your cheat stick might be putting because, again, you get too flippy with the wrists, too handsy, and you're not getting that free flow action. Therefore, an arm lock putter gives you something to think about, gets you using the upper body a tiny bit more and a much smoother stroke. The Wilson Staff model utility driving iron. I'll show you a few prices that these currently go for on eBay, and big thank you to the boys at Replay Golf for lending me this new toy to test out today. So Simon, you might be thinking the high lofted woods help with the steep swing. The chipper helps very flippy wrists at impact, very similar again to the arm lock putter. What does your cheat stick help you with? One thing that you realize when you come into the game of golf is that club face is the be all end all. Doesn't matter your swing plane, doesn't matter your angle of attack, doesn't matter your club head speed. If that club face is aiming to the right, and if that club face is pointing left, the ball is going, well, left. And throughout my entire golfing career, starting when I was 19 years of age and picked up my first golf club, club head speed has never been an issue. And for a lot of you bigger hitters, you will know all too well 2 degrees open, 3 degrees open, 4 degrees open of a club face, you're going to miss the target, well, by quite a bit. Hence why the one length hybrid has been referred to as a cheat stick, because it's that interim club, not that much loft, quite short, so you've got that control. Of course, it's not going to be as fast as a traditionally long hybrid, but if you find the middle and the club face is pointing somewhere towards the target, well, you're going to be able to start cutting down the golf course if you're quite a big hitter. That was absolutely flushed. And again, that is why you will see tour pros, better players, people that have got fast club head speeds, opt for shortening the length of their driver so that they have more control, so that they can find the middle better and feel like they can keep the club face more at the target. Yes, a longer length in shaft is going to help club head speed, and on a good one, produce more distance. But what's 10, 15 yards if it's not in the fairway? And that's why I have a special place in my heart for particular golf clubs like this. Not to mention, always on the hunt for models that are quite underrated, i.e. they're not got a big name slapped on the back of them, but as I'll show you, the ball doesn't really care what kind of brand you have on your golf clubs. Because even though this is lofted at 18 degrees and referred to as a driving 2-iron, actually I spin this more than a driver would, meaning that if I do hit it slightly left or right, that added backspin is actually going to help me find a fairway. Because as I've shown you in recent videos, especially the ones where I'm able to hit the driver 350 yards plus, getting this lower is great for long distance drives. Not very good when you add a tiny bit of side spin to it, however. And ultimately, that is what a cheat stick is. Use some of your strengths, whatever they might be, your club path, your club head speed, angle attack, whatever it might be, but then offset some of your weaknesses, i.e. I am not good at trying to keep my club face at the target, especially under pressure, meaning that I am going to hit bad shots. Yet with this thing, the good shots are going to be able to put me in dangerously close to the hole, but also the bad shots aren't going to be ruining my card. However, that's enough about cheat sticks, lessons, theories, how to plaster over the bad techniques in your golf game. Let's talk about the club I have in my hand because, well, I'm really impressed. Oh, that was such a poor strike as well. I almost missed the golf club altogether. This thing is so forgiving. And to be honest, that's exactly what this thing is here. It doesn't look too chunky from the top for you guys that don't like the look of a hybrid or a really offset driving iron. Let's say like the Ping G series. It has more than enough gas in the tank when you hit it out the middle and potentially don't swing it as fast as I do. And on the off-center shots, which let's be honest, I'm very much accustomed to, you're still going to be getting a decent yardage out of it. And to be honest, the only reason I'm a good golfer, just like anyone else, is that I have a ton of excuses. I should be able to fix my club face control, especially as I have a studio to myself. But I do teach in here, I do club fit in here, I have two wives. I don't have two wives. I have one wife, 2 kids. Good job she doesn't watch my YouTube videos. And sadly, with the level of club head speed that I have and the little time I have for my golf game, when I do eventually get onto the golf course, my club face control isn't what it should be. Meaning that I can use the club head speed that I have and use it to my advantage. Oh, we're getting in there now. 115, there she is. Can we get faster? 160 ball speed. That's naughty. Notice how it hasn't gone any further than the other ones though, because that spin rate is so high. Just to emphasize my point, let me slow it down and show you it going exactly the same distance. Yeah, that's pretty well struck. 101 miles an hour. Almost 50 miles an hour slower, yet I'm getting pretty much the exact same distance because these are just better. 117, go on, he's warming up. Get down there, son. Get down there. Guys, there's my cheat stick, and hopefully this video has helped you find your cheat stick for your golf bag. If you like this video, you might like this one up here on the left-hand side. Catch you guys later.